Back in 2011, when US Navy SEALs carried out an operation which killed Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden, we've asked what has been the impact of his death on the rest of the world. What significance did it have for groups hoping to gain as much influence as the one controlled by the mastermind of the 9/11 attacks himself? Don't get me wrong, his death did deal some blow to the group, but like one of our guests said on the program back then, the Al-Qaeda is more of an ideology than a group of people who plan attacks. So here's where we bring in Professor Adegbulu. In this interview, he explains why the US had to kill Ahmed Godane and what governments around the world can do to sustain victory over terror. Professor, thank you for joining us on Diplomatic Channel to discuss this issue. Now, Godane's death seems very similar to that of Osama bin Laden about 3 years ago. Why do you think the Obama administration wanted so much to have him dead?
Well, first and foremost, to show American capability. There is a military capability that no matter where terror groups are hiding, that they are capable of fishing them out. Number two, well, maybe they were thinking that they would be able to stem the ugly tide of terrorism in Africa and by extension the rest of the world. But history has not really taught us that killing a leader of a terror group, we actually stop that insurgency. Rather, what you have is a kind of law. You may just have a law, maybe by which time the terrorists will go and strategize. Because for every one person you kill, among them, every one leader you kill, there are 2 or 3 who are ready to step into the shoes of the other one who died. Because it's like a situation where the living are envying the dead because they have an ideology that once you die in this process, you go to heaven. So every one of them wants to go to heaven.
Before we go to antecedents, I just wanted to ask, how important is it, the African arm of Al-Qaeda, because that's what Al-Shabab is referred to as. How important is that arm of Al-Qaeda? I mean, how dangerous is it to the West, and how important is it to Al-Qaeda?
Well, it's dangerous to the West in the sense that, these terror groups, they network. So we cannot isolate them. We cannot say this one belongs to Africa, this one. So all of them are out to wreak havoc on humanity. Because that is happening, it affects not only Africa, but American interests. Wherever American interest is, they attack. And so if they attack Africa, attack American interests. So America, being the world police, cannot fold its arms and watch these people wreaking havoc on the rest of humanity, including America itself. So, and it's also very important to Al-Qaeda because, like I said, they network, they work hand in hand. So you can no longer say this one belongs here, this one belongs here, because they all work together. As a result of that, terrorists in any territory in the world today is as dangerous as if they are in your state capital. So America, today in the world of globalization, we see what they do. They don't even need to be at your doorstep to wreak havoc in your own place. So that is why it's very dangerous that such people are kept within the realm where they can easily reach anybody. That is what America is trying to do, to completely eradicate this evil system called Al-Qaeda and terrorism altogether.
Right, and shortly after the Pentagon confirmed that Godane was killed in the airstrikes last Monday, the White House released a statement and is saying, I'm quoting here, Godane's removal is a major symbolic and operational loss to the largest Al-Qaeda affiliate in Africa and reflects years of painstaking work by our intelligence, military and law enforcement professionals. Knowing that terror groups are usually governed by ideologies, you think this really is the case? That Godane's death will actually affect Al-Qaeda's operations in Africa?
Yeah, exactly what I said. The motivation for America wanting to kill Godane, of course, is to show its capability. According to that statement, you will see there, praising their men on ground and all that. But you see, since it's a network thing, and also it's an ideological warfare which they fight, and these people believe so much. These people who are fighting, they are walking corpses, and these are people who don't value their life to be anything at all. In fact, if you see somebody who is ready to die, you shoot the person in the gun. So it's like you are just helping him to get to his destination. Only that they don't want to die that kind of death. They want to fight and die so that they can get the reward which they have always imagined. So that's why this kind of thing, I do not see it as something that will stop the evil in the land, because they proliferate. So when you kill one, so many of them are ready to assume the position of the person you have killed. This physical tendency is always there, and that's why after the death of bin Laden, another leader quickly emerged. And in fact, you now see them in so many countries, even assuming other names like ISIS and all this. So they are all still fighting towards the same goal. That is why killing an individual may not really help the cause of wiping out terrorism from the globe.
And what is the goal, Professor, for terror groups? What is the goal?
Their goal? Their goal, of course, is to establish the state of Islam, a Puritan Islam where they will have Sharia, where they can rule in their own system, a kind of theocratic system, where everything that they have imagined, everything they have wanted done in normal society will be. So where anything that has to be with Western influence will be wiped out. So a situation whereby anybody who offends, for instance, his hand will be cut off or whatever and all these things. So these are the things that they actually want to achieve. Doing away with every Western civilization. Of course, we know that is not possible. The whole thing is very selfish, because if you say doing away with Western civilization, some of the things you used to even fight and kill people are derived from the West. But you see, like I said, it's self-centered and it's very parochial. They're looking at, the world ruled by their own parochial ideology, which is, I don't know if I can call it Islam, but they have their own parochial sect of rules, which they want to unleash on whoever is under them. So that's exactly what they're looking for.
We're still talking about Boko Haram and just a little bit about Al-Shabab. Boko Haram, the government has agreed, Nigerian government has agreed, okay, to explore the idea of negotiations with the group.
Yeah.
You think such a strategy will also work with Al-Shabab? Could it work with Al-Shabab or with Al-Qaeda?
When we talk about negotiation, sometimes I don't really see it as a panacea to this problem, because who are you going to negotiate with? In the case of Boko Haram, we all know what they are out for. They have given their terms and all that. These are not attainable. By the time you even call them to come and so they feel emboldened. Okay, it is then they will now be giving you some conditions that cannot be met, that no sane human being can meet. So I do not see negotiation with such a splinter group as ideal. I've never at any time supported a negotiation with Boko Haram or any sect like that, who have taken up arms against their fatherland. What are you going to negotiate with them? Declare Nigeria Islamist State or Sharia State? That's not possible in Nigeria, for instance. So what I see is that what I see that can be done, if Nigeria actually is serious and there is political will to really deal decisively with them, I do not see any reason why Nigerian soldiers cannot, ward off what is happening in Burma and other this thing. I don't see why they cannot do that if there is real political will to really deal with them. Like I said, you be ready to spend money, and sincerely such money must be spent judiciously. We must see what they have bought with the money, how the money is spent. Those who are fighting must be encouraged, that is, giving motivation to really fight for their fatherland and succeed. All these things must be done, and also we have to enlist the services of those I mentioned earlier on, those who are respected in the society, to de-radicalize these people and to disabuse the minds of those who are inclined to Boko Haram doctrine and all that. So if we put all these things together, we will win the war. So it's just like